Hello and welcome to Bloom and Beyond. This episode is titled, How Dogs Help Us Heal, the story behind Jäger's coloring book of wisdom and wellness. Today's episode is very close to my heart. It's about grief, healing, love, and about the incredible way that dogs walk beside us through every season, sometimes carrying us through when we don't even realize it. It's the story of three amazing dogs who shaped my life and my family's journey: Oakley, Dekker, and Jäger. Each of them arrived at exactly the moment we needed them most. Each of them taught us something about survival, hope, and the healing power of unconditional love. And it's their legacy that inspired something that I'm so proud to share: a girl and her dog, Jäger's coloring book of wisdom and wellness. So part one of our episode today is about Oakley, the dog who saved me. In 2000, my world shattered. My son, Alexander Jeffrey, died just 2 days before his due date. There are losses that are so deep that you can't imagine surviving them. 9 months of waiting and planning for our son's arrival, and thinking in just a few days that we'd be welcoming home our baby boy, just to have our entire world completely shattered. And at that moment, I truly didn't know how I would go on. But I had my older child, Taylor, who needed me to keep breathing, to keep moving, even when every part of me wanted to stop. You go on for your children, even if you don't want to go on for yourself. About 5 days after AJ's funeral, I started looking in the newspaper for puppies. I felt this great need to take care of a baby, and I needed something. I found some Labrador puppies who, ironically, were only a few blocks away from us. We went to visit them. They were in a closed-off area of the garage, in kind of like a fenced area. As soon as they saw us, they all came running to the edge of their pen, and they were jumping up, all except one. This dog stayed in the middle of the pen and sat up completely on his hind legs, paws in the air, and my husband said, "What about that one?" So exactly a week after AJ's funeral, we brought home a chocolate lab puppy. He had chosen us, and we named him Oakley. Oakley wasn't just a dog, he was my baby. Oakley stayed glued to my side through the darkest nights and the deepest silences. He didn't ask me to explain my grief. He didn't expect anything from me except to exist alongside him and to play Frisbee, his favorite toy. A few months later, I became pregnant again, and this was the scariest time, praying that this child would be okay. And this time, life answered grief with another gift: my son Joshua. And in a beautiful twist, Joshua and Oakley share the same birthday, exactly 1 year apart. Oakley became Joshua's protector and Taylor's constant companion, and my reminder that even in heartbreak, life and love can find a way. Oakley didn't just heal me, he saved me. Oakley was such a funny dog. I mean, all dogs have their personalities, and he surely did. He actually talked. We'd call my parents, and if they didn't answer, Oakley would leave messages on their answering machine. I think they sometimes ignored the calls just to get his voice messages. He was just an all-round good boy and my lifesaver. When he was 12, Oakley got cancer. It was the kind of cancer that can't be treated, and the vet did what he could to keep Oakley comfortable. It came to a point when we could see how much pain he was in, and we knew he was just going on for us, so we made the heartbreaking decision to put him down. As we were in the room, I was sitting on the floor with Oakley, his head in my lap. In his last moment, he turned his head up to look at me. I can still see in his eyes. My mom said it was because he was letting me know it was okay. I hope so. I hope he knows how he saved me and I miss him so much still. Part 2 is Dekker, the dog who watched over my mom. When we still had Oakley, another dog entered our family's life during another time of heartbreak. When my father became very sick with cancer, my parents decided to get a dog, a beautiful black lab that they named Dekker. Dekker and Oakley became friends too. I truly believe that my dad, knowing how hard things would be, chose Dekker not just for himself, but for my mom. He knew she would need someone to help fill the house with love and to just be there when he was gone. Dekker stayed close to my dad during his illness, offering the kind of comfort that words can't. He wanted so badly to lay on my dad, but my dad was in so much pain, and it was hard for a big puppy to be careful in that way. And after my dad passed, Dekker became my mom's closest companion. He filled the house with warmth, laughter, and unconditional presence. Another funny dog, Dekker kept us entertained. He stayed beside my mom on the hardest days and brightened the quietest ones. Dekker wasn't just a dog. He was part of the healing. In another heartbreaking turn, we lost Dekker unexpectedly when he was only 8. We found out that he had a horrible illness. And when we knew it was too much for him, we had to make that gut-wrenching decision once again. Jäger was here for all of us during one of the most challenging times of our lives in losing my dad. So it was the least that we could do for him. We didn't want him to suffer. I just felt so bad for my mom. Part 3 is Jäger, the joy that followed loss. A few months later came Jäger. He was without a doubt the most beautiful puppy that I had ever seen. Golden fur, soulful eyes, and that innocent face you just couldn't stay mad at. We would take him for walks, and people actually stopped us and asked if they could take pictures of him. He was that cute. But he was also so naughty. Jäger got into everything. You name it, he stole it, chewed it, or proudly paraded it around the house. And when it comes to food, even now, Jäger cannot be fully trusted around an unattended plate. His Labrador instincts are strong, and his nose and stomach are always leading the way. He thinks that each and every drive-thru has treats for him, and most of them do. He knows anytime we're near a Starbucks, and he cries very loudly until he is able to devour his pup cup. And a few times he has almost jumped through the drive-thru window to get it. The poor baristas, but most of them seem to enjoy that. But for all the mischief and all the chaos that he has added to my life, there's one thing about Jäger that has never changed. He cannot stand to be away from me. Wherever I go, he goes. If I move to another room, he follows. If I sit down, he presses his body against mine or rests his head on my lap, just to be close. And I realize something that brings me to tears. No one will ever love me the way that Jäger loves me. Pure, fierce, without judgment, without expectations. Jäger's love is total, simple, and steady. He doesn't care if I'm tired or busy or feeling a little broken. To him, I am everything. Jäger reminds me every day that love, real love, is patient, persistent, and present. So when I start to get upset at him for being so mischievous, I try to stop and remember to be patient with him. All he wants is for me to love him. When he interrupts my podcasts or my recordings, I've just started to embrace it and include him because he is a huge part of my life. And Jäger thinks that everyone should love him anyway, and actually pretty much everyone we meet does. So one afternoon, sitting beside Jäger, I started thinking about how I could include him more in my wellness business. I thought about what Jäger has taught me, and it hit me. He taught me about healing and wellness. This is what Oakley gave us. This is what Dekker gave us and my mom. This is what Jäger gives me now. The reminder that healing isn't about doing more. It's about simply being. It's about letting love and presence carry you when your strength is low. And from those thoughts, A Girl and Her Dog, Jäger's coloring book of wisdom and wellness, was born. It's filled with cozy coloring pages inspired by Jäger's spirit, affirmations that meet you wherever you are, gentle invitations to slow down, breathe, and color your way back to calm. If you're carrying grief, stress, or the exhaustion of living in a fast-moving world, you're not alone. Sometimes you just need to sit down, relax, and color. Jäger and I would love to invite you to grab your favorite markers or crayons or colored pencils. Find a quiet corner and color your way to calm with our new coloring book. You can find A Girl and Her Dog, Jäger's coloring book of wisdom and wellness on my website, Bloom Health and Wellness. And we invite you to share your pages with us using #ColorWithJäger. We would love to see them. Thank you for being here, and thank you for letting me share Oakley, Dekker, and Jäger stories with you. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, and please get yourself a copy of Jäger's Wellness Coloring Book. I promise it will make you smile.